April 1967, history teacher Ron Jones initiated a small experiment at a California high school. By day 5, it had enveloped nearly 200 students. A movement was born, one they were fiercely loyal to, calling it the Third Wave. It all began with a student's question. How could ordinary Germans deny knowledge of the concentration camps? How could an entire nation say they were simply following orders? Rather than lecturing, Jones decided to demonstrate, teaching his students to sit up straight, answer promptly, and begin each sentence with Mr. Jones. Simple rules, innocuous rules. Yet the room changed almost instantly. Students felt sharper, more empowered. They welcomed the change. By the second day, they'd created a salute. By the third, they reported peers who broke rules. Students from other classes skipped lessons to join. No coercion necessary. They craved inclusion. Jones introduced them to slogans: strength through discipline, strength through community. The shy found belonging. Bullies found validation. A reserved student, Robert, became Jones's self-appointed bodyguard, shadowing him through halls. Just 5 days. No torture, no threats. Just a few rules and a sense of belonging. The most unsettling truth: these weren't weak people. They were average American teenagers, convinced such things couldn't happen to them. The students believed they were unique. Little did they know, they were subjects of a study, and the trap that ensnared them is the same one closing around you. Even now. Chapter 2. The question nobody wants to answer. This scene universalizes the personal story, transforming it into an inescapable mystery for the viewer. It challenges the audience, sowing discomfort and curiosity about their own susceptibility. Visual/audio, montage of modern crowds, shoppers in a bustling mall, a stadium performing the wave, hands raised in unison at a lively rally, and the glow of scrolling phones in the dark. Shot in slow motion, the recurring heartbeat re-emerges, accompanied by a ticking metronome. Cut to a single eye, blinking slowly. Voiceover. Here lies an unsettling truth. The third wave was not a fluke. It was a formula. The same. Components pervade every cult, every scam, every advertisement you've ever followed. We like to consider ourselves exceptions. We envision being the one who walks away, the one who sees the truth. Yet control rarely feels like control. It feels like belonging, like a fair trade, like a choice you've made yourself. That's the true enigma. Not why malicious people manipulate others, but why good, intelligent, conscientious people line up to be manipulated, and even thank those who manipulate them. Think about the last product you bought because everyone seemed to have it. The last opinion you adopted because it was the consensus among your peers. The last time you kept silent to avoid conflict. None of that seemed like weakness. It felt like being yourself. The techniques employed by con artists in the 1920s, by cult leaders like Jim Jones in 1978, and by today's tech companies are remarkably similar. These methods weren't invented, they were uncovered. Hidden switches within the human psyche that respond predictably every time. Once you see them, you cannot unsee them. To comprehend these switches, we must journey back to an era that believed it was too modern too, enlightened to fall for something so rudimentary. The viewer anticipates a fall and is compelled to witness it. Visual/audio. Archival style footage of 1920s cities. Neon signs illuminating streets. Radios glowing warmly in cozy living rooms. Crowds adorned in elegant attire. The colors gradually fade as the music takes on an eerie tone. A radio dial turning, static filling the air. A solitary voice emerges from the noise. Voiceover. Picture the 1920s. The world had just emerged from its first global conflict. Science was booming. Electricity reached ordinary households. For the first time, a man's voice could penetrate millions of living rooms simultaneously, via the radio. People believed they inhabited an age of reason, educated, modern, too intelligent for past superstitions. Yet this belief was their Achilles heel, because the radio accomplished what no preacher, king, or army had done. It spoke to each listener individually, in their own home, in a warm, trusted tone, repeating the same message, the same phrases, the same cadence, until those words ceased to persuade and began to feel like memories. This marked the birth of mass influence. The advertising pioneers were the first to notice. Edward Bernays, Sigmund Freud's nephew, discovered a simple truth. People don't buy what they need. They buy who they aspire to be. He didn't sell cigarettes. He sold liberation. He didn't sell soap. He sold community. It appealed to everyone, even those who recognized his strategy. The crowd felt independent. It felt liberated, unaware that it was being orchestrated like a symphony. The same tools that marketed bacon for breakfast would soon promote something far more malignant. And no one discerned the difference until it was too late. Transition, or open loop. The machinery of control was in place. It awaited only a crack, one subtle fear, one quiet insecurity, to slip into the human psyche and turn the key. Chapter 4. The Crack in the Mind. This scene exposes the single emotional vulnerability that all manipulation exploits. It makes the viewer feel personally exposed, heightening the previously established dread, while advancing the mystery toward its mechanism. Extreme close-up of a hairline crack spreading across glass, shot in slow motion. The heartbeat returns, louder than before. Cut to a solitary figure, standing at the periphery of a crowd, slightly apart, observing others laugh. Cold blue light. A hand reaches out, inviting them in. The crowd envelops them. The metronome ticks faster. Voiceover. Every lock has a keyhole, and so does the human mind. It is not ignorance. It is not frailty. It's something far more common, something you possess at this very moment, the fear of isolation. We aren't designed to stand apart. For most of our history, being cast out from the group meant peril. No tribe, no protection, no sustenance. Evolution wired a switch deep within us. A switch that screams one word when we feel detached from the crowd: belong. This is the crack. And every manipulator throughout history has reached for it. Watch how it functions. First, they isolate you, not with chains, with feelings. They make you sense that you're missing something everyone else already possesses. A truth, a community, a version of yourself that is finally adequate. Then they offer the remedy. Join us. Believe this. Purchase this. Chant these words, and the ache dissipates. Ron Jones didn't threaten his students. He provided the lonely with a place to belong. The reticent student who never spoke suddenly had close allies. The salute wasn't a command. It was a welcome. That is why the students defended the third wave so fervently. They weren't safeguarding an idea. They were protecting the only place where they'd ever truly fit. Here is what should alarm you. The more modern we become, the wider the crack grows. We are more interconnected than any humans in history, yet more alone than ever. scrolling through countless faces, belonging to none. The manipulator doesn't need to break you. He only needs to find the part of you that is already fracturing. And then he offers to make you whole. Transition or open loop. However, mere belonging is insufficient to forge a movement. To transform a lonely person into a loyal one, you need a second ingredient. A strategy so ancient it appears in every religion, every military, every cult on this planet. It shifts the viewer's understanding from emotional to strategic, laying the groundwork for the deeper machinery to come. Visual/audio. A pair of hands meticulously tying a knot. Cut to initiation imagery spanning eras. Recruits crawling through mud. A new member reciting an oath. A customer waiting hours in an interminable line. Warm firelight flickers. The music swells with an almost sacred undertone, then darkens. Voiceover. Here is a peculiar truth about humans. We do not cherish what is easily obtained. We value what costs us dearly. This is the second key, and it operates in the opposite direction of what you might expect. You might think people commit first, then sacrifice. But the mind works in reverse. We sacrifice first, and then to justify the sacrifice, we commit. This is why every powerful group demands a price of entry. The arduous initiation, the humiliating ritual, the investment you can't reclaim, the secret you must guard. None of it is arbitrary. Each asks the same unspoken question. How much are you willing to give? Because the moment you offer something, a door closes behind you. To walk away now would mean admitting you were a fool. And the human mind will do almost anything to avoid that. Ron Jones understood this instinctively. Every rule his students followed was a small payment. Every salute, a deposit. By day 5, they had invested so much pride that quitting felt like self-betrayal. The con artist asks for a small favor first. The cult demands an afternoon. The app requests a streak you cannot break. Tiny prices, paid repeatedly, until one day you realize you've purchased something you never intended to own. You didn't get trapped. You built the trap yourself, one payment at a time. Transition or open loop. Belonging draws you in. Sacrifice secures you. But there is a third force, the most perilous of all. The force that makes you cease thinking entirely and entrust your mind to someone else. It moves the viewer from understanding the trap to acknowledging the surrender, escalating the stakes from manipulation to total obedience. Visual/audio. A solitary figure in a white coat, face unseen, gestures off-screen. Cut to rows of people turning their heads in unison. A man's finger hovers over a switch. Black and white footage of an experimental room, a dial marked with numbers climbing toward danger. The heartbeat slows, unnaturally calm. A voice repeats, "Please continue." The metronome halts. Silence. Voiceover. There is a moment in every manipulation when the most burdensome thing you own is relinquished. Your own judgment. Thinking is arduous. Doubt is heavy. And the mind, like the body, seeks the path of least resistance. So when someone steps forward and says, "I will decide for you," a part of us doesn't resist. A part of us is grateful. In 1961, psychologist Stanley Milgram constructed a simple room. An ordinary individual sat at a machine and was instructed to administer electric shocks to a stranger. The shocks intensified. The stranger screamed, begged, fell silent. And still, when a man in a lab coat calmly stated, "The experiment requires that you continue," most complied. Not monsters. Teachers, clerks, fathers. Ordinary people, sweating, trembling, apologizing, yet pressing the switch regardless. Why? Because the instant an authority assumes responsibility, something within us exhales. It is no longer my fault. I am merely following. The decision belongs to someone else now. This is the surrender. And it feels like relief. Ron Jones became that lab coat for his students. They no longer questioned the validity of the orders. They merely ensured they were obeyed. The part of them that thought critically had gone silent, replaced by a single, soothing instruction. Trust the leader. Beware the voice that offers certainty in a world of uncertainty. The one who instructs. Do not question. Simply follow, and I will bear the burden. It will feel like a gift. It is the heaviest chain of all, transition or open loop. However, obedience to an individual can still be shattered. To render control permanent, the manipulator needs a final weapon. He must turn the followers against the rest of the world. Chapter 7. US and Them. This scene reveals how division and enemy-making solidify the group, transforming loyalty into hostility. It intensifies the dread-buy, illustrating how ordinary belonging devolves into cruelty, preparing the viewer for the final mechanism of total control. Visual/audio. A line drawn in dirt with a stick. Two groups face each other across it, expressions hardening. Slow push-in on eyes narrowing. One side bathed in warm group light, the other in cold shadow. A whisper escalates into a chant. Hands point across the divide. The music adopts a tribal rhythm, drums underlying the melody. Voiceover. Nothing unites people faster than a shared adversary. This is the ultimate lock, and it is the oldest one in existence. The moment you belong to an us, your mind subconsciously constructs a them, and the them embodies all your fears. Everything that jeopardizes the sanctuary you've found. The manipulator doesn't need to fabricate the enemy. He only needs to point. There. They are the reason you suffer. They are why you feel isolated. They do not grasp our truth. They never will. And suddenly, the group is not merely a solace. It is a fortress. To question the leader now is to align with the enemy. To leave is to become the enemy. The walls that protect you have become the walls that imprison you. Ron Jones observed this transformation within days. His students began to report one another. Our classmates who refused to salute weren't just outsiders. They were threats. Children who had been friends a week prior now regarded each other with suspicion. This is the sinister gift of the enemy. It makes cruelty resemble loyalty. It makes betrayal appear virtuous. The more compassion you show your own, the more callous you become to others. And the beauty of it, for the manipulator, is that it never ends. There is always another them, another traitor, another peril to keep the circle fearful, and fearful people do not leave. Belonging, sacrifice, surrender, division, 4 keys, turning one after the other. But what transpires when all 4 lock simultaneously within a single mind? It delivers the chilling payoff, redirecting the focus onto the viewer. Visual/audio. The hairline crack from earlier now expands into a full pane of glass. But as the camera pulls back, the glass is a mirror reflecting the viewer's own face, calm and smiling. Slow, zoom into the eye. The metronome resumes, perfectly steady. All previous images flash by. The salute, the switch, the line in the dirt, then stillness, voiceover. Now witness the outcome when all 4 keys turn in unison. A lonely person discovers belonging. To preserve it, they sacrifice. Having sacrificed, they relinquish their judgment, and to protect what they've given, they turn against the world. 4 locks, 1 mind. And here is the final, chilling truth. The individual inside that prison does not perceive themselves as trapped. They feel chosen, awake, free. This is the masterpiece of control. The perfect prisoner requires no guards, for the prisoner has become the guard. They will defend the walls. They will report the dissenters. They will express gratitude to the man who took their freedom and regard him as a savior. Ron Jones terminated his experiment after 5 days, alarmed at how easily it had escalated. When he finally revealed the truth to his students. When he exposed whose movement they had mirrored. The room fell silent. Some cried. Many couldn't bear to face one another. They hadn't merely learned about history, they had become it. So the question is no longer about them, the students, the crowds, the followers in old footage. The question concerns you, because the same crack runs through every mind, including the one reading these words right now. The same yearning to belong, the same fear of isolation, the same quiet relief when someone offers to think for you, are not immune. No one is. The illusion of immunity is the first lock turning. But there's one defense, one small difficult act the prison cannot withstand. The question, why am I doing this? Who benefits if I comply? What did I have to forfeit to belong here? A questioning mind cannot be fully possessed, transition or open loop. The machine is constructed and the keys are identified. But who reaches for them today? And what novel tool have they discovered, more potent than any radio, any leader, any line in the dirt? It collapses the historical distance, rendering the threat immediate, personal, and unavoidable. Visual/audio. The stick that drew the line in the dirt transforms into a glowing finger swiping across a phone. Screen. Faces bathed in blue light in dark rooms. Thumbs scrolling. A feed of endless faces, all nodding, all agreeing. The chant from earlier re-emerges, albeit digital now. A myriad of notification chimes layered into a hum push in on a single illuminated eye, its pupil filled with scrolling light. Ron Jones required a classroom. A leader needed a stage, a microphone, a crowd within reach. That world has vanished. The line in the dirt is now a screen in your hand, and it has mastered every lock. It finds the lonely at 3 in the morning and offers them a circle. It rewards the sacrifice of time, of attention, of doubt, with a warm glow of approval. It quietly conditions you to relinquish your judgment to the loudest voice, the brightest feed, the relentless scroll that processes faster than you can. And it perpetually presents you with a them, another tribe, another foe, another reason to become resolute. The machine no longer requires a man in uniform. It operates autonomously now, a multitude of small leaders, each pointing across countless small lines, each assuring you belong here, with us, against them. And the most disquieting aspect, no one compels you. Reach for it. You draw it closer. You appreciate its company. The radio captivated a nation. The screen reaches into your bed, your breakfast, your final waking thought. It is the most intimate manipulator ever devised, and it is patient, transition/open loop. If the prison has followed us this far, into our pockets, into our hands, is there any refuge left? It provides a fragile hope, making the subsequent darkness more impactful. Visual/audio. A single hand lowers a phone, the screen fading to black. Silence. Genuine silence. The chimes absent. A person stands alone in an empty room, breathing. Light returns to their eyes. Slowly, humanly, the metronome ceases. For the first time, stillness that feels like freedom rather than surrender. Voiceover. There is no wall you can erect, no nation you can escape to. The machine is wherever your mind is. Yet it has one vulnerability. It cannot survive a question. Every lock hinges on speed, on reaction, on the warm rush of belonging before you reflect. So you must learn to slow down, to feel the pull, that urge to agree, to defend, to attack the enemy they presented. And in that precise moment, to pause and inquire, who gains if I accept this? What am I being incited to detest, and who profits from my animosity? What did I relinquish to feel this assured? It is not comfortable. The inquiry costs you warmth. It places you momentarily outside the circle, alone in the cold with only your own thoughts. But that solitude is not the prison. That solitude is the exit. Ron Jones's students wept when they saw the truth, for the truth is burdensome, yet it liberated them. A questioning mind cannot be entirely dominated, not by a leader, not by a crowd, not by a screen. And yet, with all this awareness, knowing the locks, the keys, the exit, most of us will still reach for the phone tonight, the haunting closing thought, and seals the experience with an inescapable question. Visual/audio, the mirror from earlier, the viewer's calm reflection. Slowly, it smiles. But the smile isn't quite their own. The screen light flickers across the face. Then everything fades to black except a single blinking cursor. Waiting. Total silence. Voiceover. You have watched this entire story believing you were the observer, the one too intelligent, too aware, too liberated to be ensnared. That belief is the first lock. The reality is, somewhere in the past 20 minutes, you nodded, you concurred, you sensed the allure of the voice that appeared confident. Toward me, because I have been doing it too, drawing you in, creating an us, you and me, the perceptive ones, against them, the oblivious masses, offering you certainty in a world of uncertainty. So question this, question me. That is the only lesson that matters. The prison was never the classroom, or the radio, or the screen. The prison was always the part of us that desired, more than anything, to cease thinking and simply belong. But what would you have done? Sitting in that classroom, raising your hand, when the salute felt so gratifying and standing alone felt like death. If you pursue truths most people avoid. Follow. The next story delves deeper into the darkness than this one dared. YouTube title: The 4 Psychological Locks That Transform. Free people into perfect prisoners. YouTube description: In 1967, a teacher named Ron Jones conducted an experiment to answer one question. And within 5 days, his ordinary students had spawned a movement that alarmed him. This is the anatomy of mind control. The 4 hidden locks that turn belonging into obedience, loyalty into cruelty, and free people into willing prisoners who express gratitude to the man who took their freedom. From Milgram's shock machine to the screen in your hand. This documentary reveals how the oldest manipulation in history now resides in your pocket, and a single act that can break it. You are not immune. No one is. Chapters: 0. Introduction: 15. 0. Chapter 7. Us and Them. 17. 30. Chapter 8. The Perfect Prisoner. 20. 0. Chapter 9. The New Line in the Dirt. 22. 0. Chapter 10. The Only Way Out. 23. 0. Chapter 11. The Mirror Closes. YouTube tags. Mind control. Psychology. The Third Wave. Ron Jones. Milgram Experiment. Manipulation. Cults. Propaganda. Obedience. Social psychology. Dark psychology. Groupthink. Human behavior. Persuasion. Shorts hooks. 1. Most people press the switch. Not monsters. Fathers. 2. The perfect prisoner doesn't feel trapped. They feel chosen. 3. The screen reaches into your bed. It's patient. 4. The illusion of immunity is the first lock turning. 5. But what would you have done in that classroom?